Thanks for staying with us. So there was a story that got to my attention yesterday, and I wanted to bring the matter to Nigerians to let you hear. So there were two ladies that came in from the US yesterday, a few days ago, I think. No, it was actually a few days ago. And they arrived hoping to start a new life here in Nigeria. And the plan was for them to get an apartment in Nigeria. But unfortunately, when they arrived, the apartment, in fact, that's a whole different story. The landlord kind of turned and everything, so they needed a place to stay. So now these two ladies came with their cats, two big black cats.
Yes, so please.
They had to now buy their black cats. They paid for because unfortunately they couldn't put the cat in the cargo, so they had to put the chair on the flight from America to Nigeria. So you know that's paying for two people.
Has the passport too.
And they had to have a special permit and all that. So they came in, so they called their aunt that, okay, we're having some accommodation issues. Please, of course, after 13 or 12 hours, straight flight from the US. So they came over to their aunt's house, and the aunt just spoke to her husband. Her husband said, oh, sure, they can come. Not mentioning the cats. So this like about 9 p.m. in the evening. They arrived at the house with the cats. Nobody even knew about the cats. They entered and everything, entered the room. Then because the cats were nicely packaged. The aunt knew about the package, about the cats. But because it was late in the evening, she was hoping that her husband would allow them to stay over. Of course, husband had cats. Not just cats, big black cats.
BBC.
And he did not allow them to stay in the house.
Jesus.
They didn't sleep in the house.
Jesus Christ.
Family
he sent
Where did they sleep?
them out. He said he doesn't care. He just couldn't stay in that house. So these two girls had to find somewhere else that night. And because in fact the aunt went to beg husband, pleaded, told the girl to go and beg husband. Husband said, it's a territory that this is the prayer, this is the territory that he cannot allow the witchcraft to come and sleep in his house. As if it's himself. You're not using Bible quotes to say that. It's as if I'm bringing the devil himself to come and stay in my house. Wonderful. This is a house where I pray. How can I have cats in my house? And he really went on and on. This is a spiritual matter. I pray in this house. How can you? No. I can't do that. So those girls cried because they were frustrated and they had to leave.
13-hour flight.
So the family was now scrambling, of course. Now, we're now trying to get to other family members. Those must be cats, everyone say they don't want cats, So the poor girls, it was really bad. Now, the question is, what did cats do to Nigerians? Why are we afraid of cats? YK has about 7 cats or so. Nima has cats, and nothing has done these people. But for some reason, some people believe that cats are demonic. So the question this morning, why are Nigerians afraid of cats? Please call us 020-163-52013, 090-241-63440. You can send us messages on X and also on YouTube. We're happy to hear your thoughts. What is the issue with cats?
It's demonic.
Yes.
So, we all have our... Let me start with this example. When I went to Doha, they said every Doha family has falcon. That's their animal. That's their pet. And they are falcons of millions of dollars. People spend millions of dollars to buy falcon. They have the biggest falcon hospital, specialized pet hospital for falcons in Doha. You'll be wondering,
why?
Falcons?
For what reason?
That's the same way the Yoruba people feel that abami. Cat is an abami. That means an animal that can, or something that has ability to morph, that can morph from one to another.
Change.
Change. And so the morphing ability that they feel a cat has makes the Yoruba, and it's something that I don't even know the origin of it, but I grew up hearing that cats morph, and so they can be possessed by human beings that go into animal form easily, and that dogs can sense when something like cats have been possessed. So that's why we might be more friendly, Yorubas might be more friendly towards dogs while they repel cats, especially anything that is pure black. The connotation is you are evil. Even goats, because when they want to do sacrifice, they say bring a goat that is pure black with no blemish.
Have you don't sacrifice
in Yoruba movies are cursed. So the idea that a cat is now black, then the way the cat looks into your eyes, you know, we don't need to rationalize the reason for it. But if somebody has fears that they have rationalized, we can't convince them to change their mind on it because we don't get it.
Yeah, so these ladies were begging that these cats are well trained. They're going to stay in one room. You won't even know because they won't even know they're there. And you can see that the cats are actually very well trained. They're not those ones that you see on the road. These ones are actually really big and they're well manicured and kept. Well kept cats. You want to hug them. And if you see the way these girls are calling these babies like their children, they were really, you know, broken that somebody could tell them that, hey,
it's like take your child outside. Let your child sleep outside.
I mean, you could see the girl crying that, you call my baby evil. Like, now the way, your baby, get the heck out of my house.
I think for me, it's just, I believe in a bit of mythological explanation.
I don't believe in what I just said, though. I just explained the perspective.
Which people believe, of course, that cats turn. But now, let's put it on the perspective of having pets. People have bred pets for different reasons. We've seen people keep snakes, as much as we'll say, oh, snakes, reptiles, snakes. Of course. But I also think that it is a level of our exposure and what we are tuned to and what we do not want to accept. There's nothing mystically wrong with cats. People have them in numbers. Absolutely. In fact, I think there was a day online I saw one woman, American woman, I think from Australia or something. She had over 70-something cats and she willed her properties to those cats. So maybe bringing it down here, looking at us being spiritually neck dock into
religiously,
but religion, of course, the spiritual aspect of every religion.
She's removing spiritual from it.
It's not spiritual.
You know, near religiously.
It's dogma.
Maybe so. I would want to use spiritual because my understanding is that yes, some religious people keep cats. Nima is quite religious. She keeps cats. So if we are saying let's now distinguish religion from spiritual, you can as well think that this particular cat, the way it looks at me, the way it stares, it has been used. And I know a bit, not so much, that even cats are very loyal. As pets, and they even ward off sicknesses because when you ask from traditionalists, they will tell you significance of each animal, and even their negative side. I know that so much. Of course, my partner's father is a traditionalist, so I get to ask questions, and because it is connoted or attributed to super eagles that fly in the night. Or maybe in general terms, witches that fly in the night and that they can always morph into. You understand? So I think that's where the spiritualism is coming from. But on the other hand, people think, and people who wear cats say they are very nice, but if you don't like
it can cut you.
It doesn't just hurt from my own perspective. It is when they are now exposed. Some people are well kept, like Morayo said, and they are not exposed.
I'll come to you, BC, in a second. Let me take Umar to come to my butcher. Good morning, Umar, you're live.
Will be plenty on this matter.
Good morning, Umar, you're live. Hello, Umar.
In fact, I'm so glad that today you have a topic that regards animals and how we treat animals in Nigeria.
Thank you.
As an animal advocate, I think I've spoken to so many Nigerians about why they have this fear of cats. And of course, the reason they always bring up is always like funny. As someone who has grown up in a family that has always had animals, we've always had pets in our house, from cats to dogs to parrots, name them. And then it followed me down to myself. Now that I'm a family man with my children, it says a lot from the way people treat animals. It tells you the way they would treat their fellow human beings. Then if you look at the sanctity of life in Nigeria, it leaves so much to be desired. And it tells how we treat all these animals. Animals mean a lot to people. Animals are telepathic in nature. When you see all these white people keeping animals and taking care of them to a certain extent that we'll be wondering, how can you take care of animals like this? It says a lot about the people. So what I want to chip in today, this is a very, very interesting topic, and it's a very topical topic, because Nigerians need to understand that these animals are God-made, and they're not made to harm us. The way we treat them says a lot about us. if we can just continue to advocate to people and to tell them that we need to extend our love to animals and take care of them.
Thank you very much, Omar. Thank you very much, Omar.
Yes. So Psalm 24:1 says, "The earth is the Lord's and the fullness thereof, and all they that dwell therein." Everything on planet Earth was created by God for good and for however you want to label it, right? All are God's creation. We, the human beings, and the animals, and the plants are all God's creation. God did not create this one for evil and create this one for good. He created everything for good. But the problem I see is that in this part of the world, we are naturally very fearful. And it's unfortunate, I'm going to be specific now, that many of the fears actually come from the so-called Christians. No, not Nollywood, leave Nollywood. So-called Christians who are supposed to have a better understanding of how God works and how the universe works. But there's always this fear of, also maybe because of the sort of prayers that we have been taught to pray to protect ourselves, we are very quick to demonizing anything that we do not understand. And that's where the problem is. So you do not understand a cat, the anatomy of a cat, why a cat is the way a cat is. Like, I remember the very first time I saw the eye of a cat in the middle of the night. It was during my NYSC. I could wear leather today, like I'm doing NYSC. You know, and I just came out of my balcony and I saw the cat's eye. I shouted. Then my friends came out and what I said, I saw the cat's eye. I said, but that's how the eyes are. I've never seen it at night. So it was it was beautiful, but I was afraid because of all the things I've heard about, and that was actually a very black cat. Now, when I started studying animals, so all this one that I say you can easily possess a cat, there's no animal that cannot be used. Absolutely. There's no animal that cannot be possessed. They send rats come give person. They send bats come. They send cockroach come. Yes. Yeah. You can use any. They use dolls. Those people who collect dolls, I'm usually very afraid for them. Who have a lot of doll babies in their houses. Effigies. Thank you. The spirits they enter them, they disturb you for house. So there's nothing an evil person cannot use. So why do we single out a particular animal and demonize that animal? We need to understand that animal. So let me give you some bit of understanding. I like how Dami has already started with her knowledge of some of the attributes that a cat has. Because a cat is more like, can be a channel. A cat is like in between worlds. So the cat, you know, our animals are closer. They see the layers that we do not see. When we come here, we are blinded, so we don't see those layers, except of course you are very spiritual, you are clairvoyant and all that. You can see glimpses and glitches, right, here and there. But many of us that are walking around, we're not seeing. We can be here now and there are some spirits behind and we don't know. We can't see. But someone who is very attuned to seeing things beyond the five senses can come and spot that maybe there's somebody just behind top where, and we see it. Yes. Yeah. So cats see those things because they're like in between the worlds. And that's why many people who don't understand are usually afraid. No, wait now. They're usually afraid that because the cat is seeing what is not seen. But the way they are seeing, they're also very protective. If you study some people who have given testimonies of how their cats have saved their lives. Something was coming to kill them, cat collect the death. Or there's a poisonous food. Yes, and the cat will go and eat it to save, you know, the person. They're actually very loyal animals. We need to take time to understand beyond ourselves. We need to take time to understand beyond our five senses. The world is changing right now. We cannot keep being in an ignorant state and assuming that that is how it is from yesterday, today, and forever. It makes it look like we don't know what we are doing. We need to gradually begin to have an open mind. You are a Christian. You have the Holy Spirit, Abi. So you cannot tell the cat to go and sit down, cat will sit down. So why are you going to church and deceiving yourself? Thank you.
I have Adekunle's been holding. Woman Adekunle, you're alive. Go ahead, please. Adekunle, thanks for calling.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Yes. I have actually said a bit of what I intend to say this morning. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, very clearly. Go ahead, please.
Oh, okay. Doctor has actually said a bit of what I intend to say this morning. But then, back to the story you highlighted this morning. Personally, you won't sleep in my house if you're coming to my house with a pet, personally. it depends on your view concerning some things. If you have gone through some certain things in life, and they've attributed those things to some little things, because in Africa here, we tend to perpetrate evil with animals. And that's why in Africa here, we don't seem to be cool with this kind of thing. But animals, as the case may be, they are very loving, stuff that you want to live with. But then means then in hope. Man, I just want to say some things about animals because of the lovers of animals. But animals over here is not something you want to associate with. Because most especially cats on the line. Cats can be, cats, as much as we see videos of cats being friendly, they are the most deadliest things around you. Let me leave it at that. Thank you, lady.
Thank you very much, Adekule. Interestingly, the person that, the guy the man involved, I know the man has been in the country, France, and there were cats everywhere, especially in, was it Nice? There were so many cats everywhere. And I said, you slept in Nice? There were cats in the hotel we stayed in. There were cats in the windows, big, and they were walking and loitering everywhere. He said he had bad dreams. I said, me, I slept in the same place. I did not have bad dreams. It's only you had bad dreams. I slept peacefully. Nothing happened to me. So my question is it that our map of the world totally informs every single day? Because I can two people stay in the same place. You are having bad dreams. The person, I'm staying peacefully.
So I want to say that give grace to the people you assume are ignorant because you've not walked in their shoes. Okay. There are things that people have experienced that shaped the map of their world. That because you've not experienced it, you will count it as ignorance. The person who says they were pressing me in my dream, I'm like, mommy, if they press you in your dream, press them back. Because I've never been pressed in my dream, I cannot understand. Or where somebody has gone through an experience where they say, you enter a place, if they prostrate for you, the person will die. And they prostrated for one person and the person died the next day. You would not stay, your reaction is different because you have a different experience. You've not walked in the shoes. So I'll start by saying, give grace to the people you perceive are ignorant because you have not experienced what they've experienced. You are speaking from your worldview and the experiences you've had. Until you know more, you will see more. People, we see Calabash, they will put water and they will say that somebody will stand up and leave the house in America and say, I'm coming to Nigeria. They call the person from Calabash. See, until you know and you've experienced it, you will not say it is true. Me now, I don't know. Again? I don't know it. I've not experienced it. For me, it's not true. For somebody else, it is. So we need to give grace to that ignorant person and not impose our beliefs and expect the person to be at our level because the person is different. You might think your own level is higher, but your level is lower as compared to the person's life experiences. You don't know the things of the spirit. You cannot understand. That's the person's worldview. So I feel like I hear you. My personal opinion is all animals are God's creation, and they are good. Even in the Bible, Peter was told, eat it. Eat it. I have made all things clean. True. So that's my belief. But somebody else can have a different belief and say, I can't stand it. I cannot stand it. Allow the person not to stand it because you are giving grace for where that person is.
There's an angle I want to go because I think our first caller kind of took me there. You see, how we treat animals is sometimes how we treat ourselves. I agree. There is that thing of and I think we'll take that after the break on how to, because it's a reflection of who we are.
It builds empathy.
I agree. Let's go on a short break. When we come back, we'll build on this a bit more. Stay with us, we'll be right back. Thanks for staying with us. We're still discussing cats. Why do Nigerians or Africans in general have an issue with cats? And before the break, I was talking about the issue of empathy. The fact that when you see people love animals, are selfless, they care for. We see them in movies, you see them in different parts of the world where they are selfless and they care so much about another being, either it being human or not a human being, and see how we here respond to even ourselves, regardless of an animal. How you treat your houseboy is you comparing that to even your children, even people are with the animals. It's probably going to be worse. So the point is, could we begin to review how we are as a people? Maybe this is not about the fear of cats. It's about how we choose to treat the next person. The fact that we're not empathetic, the fact that we don't care, it's about us, and we don't feel the need to give love and show care to others.
Yeah, so there's something we do in therapy. Maybe you're struggling with a very selfish person, or you are a selfish person and you're looking at, finding ways to be better. We always advise you to get a pet. It could be a cat, it could be a dog, it could be something that is vulnerable and helpless, that will not pay you. Yes, that will not pay you anything in return. And then you learn how to nurture that person, and that takes you away from being self-absorbed. It's a therapy that we give to people. But I also want to say something that I totally agree with Tope, that you cannot, judge another person's worldview. We all have our different maps of life. And we judge from where we see what we have experienced, what we have, accumulated over the years. Many of the things running our lives, in fact, from the age of 35, everything that is running your life is a set of habits. A set of habits.
Default.
Auto. It's on default. It's your subconscious that's actually running your life. So it's your programming. You have been programmed from birth, from childhood, from experiences, from everything that has happened, beliefs, your parents' beliefs, everything that has happened. So many a times we are running with a program that is not our own, originally our own. And in therapy and coaching, they now start asking you which beliefs are really yours. You now have to sit down. Which beliefs have I inherited? And that takes a moment of self-reflection. You are paying attention to your thoughts in the calm of your mind, and then you're not sifting, okay, this belief no be me get them originally. This one no be me get them originally. This one no be me get them. And then you start sifting and removing all those things. We in Africa, I like what you said, we have to reorient ourselves. We have demonized vultures.
Yeah.
Once you see vulture, we call it in my place, Udene. Everybody's running.
I say, why I'm not a book of the matter.
We have demonized owls. We have demonized many animals. Bats, uncle. Once you see a bat,
that one is
God forbid.
Everybody is shaking. They have sent somebody.
Yeah.
In 2025, we need to sit down and ask ourselves, as a Christian, let me just dwell on that because I want to believe that these people are Christians. I don't know. But as a Christian, you have the Holy Spirit with you. You walk with God. You're constantly praying and communicating with God. You are supposed to be above principalities and powers. Why are you so shaken of a small animal that you can look and say, okay, there's one spirit that, my friend, will you disappear? This place is not for you. And that's it. And the spirit leaves and goes. So the sort of Christianity that we're preaching is the sort that does not empower us, but keeps us in bondage. We're constantly afraid of what we do not understand. And that's not the sort of Christianity I want to give to my children or to any young person around me. That's on one hand. All the human beings that have been wicked to us, because human beings are wicked. We have had people who have dealt with us, showed us shege. Have we thrown them away? Have we casted them out? No, we find a way to work with them because we understand that most of the time, it's not even about the person, it's about the person's behavior. We find a way to separate it. But when it comes to cats, because you don't wear black for skin, where God give them, we demonize them. So we need to keep, and I understand that is your map of the world, is where you are, we extend grace to you, but brother or sister, try and be living there small. Please. So it's not a place to be.
Well, I just think that naturally or generally, a person who has not gone to somebody else's father's farm will claim that his father's farm is the largest.
It's the biggest.
And we see things differently and we know things differently. Maybe, yes, some people from their family history, they could attestate to the fact that, oh, we've had this and that about cats, and thereby passing it on to their children and the next generation. So yes, sometimes inherited fear might just help you or guide you as regards to avoid some certain things. But now again, I think our selflessness would not even let us help each other. I mean, our selfishness would not even let us help each other. Talk more of allowing us to help animals. Now, I remember the story of the ark, Noah's ark, and all animals were in pairs. If I think that if God didn't want procreation
of animals,
it would have been male and male, female and female, because it wasn't going to happen. But the fact that I always say something, I say, you see, in Nigeria, we have eaten all our Nat Geo wide. We cannot have it because even these cats that we are talking about, people eat them. I saw a video on Instagram which day, and the guy said, he has been catching cats, so that meat is now expensive. So any cat and just in that video, one cat was walking back, and he said, that's my next target. And he was really serious about it, that it wasn't content. So yes, people even
In fact,
eat
we have to wrap up, my
these
darling.
animals. So sometimes, generally, it's just us. If we have seen some certain things, we will run into our shells to say, okay, if this is not for you, do not castigate the person that it is for. Okay. Just give an enabling environment.
So let me cast my mom, because my mom is on this table.
Sitting pretty.
Yes, she's
all
sitting
our moms.
pretty.
My mom's sister was like that too.
Yeah, sitting pretty on this table. And I remember the rebel in me just never accepted that fear. And that's because I knew God for myself. We would go to vigil in Okebuku, CAC.
God for yourself.
Wosem. And we're coming back from the vigil. We walk all the way to Amodoface Extension. And we just came from heavy duty prayer. And one bird is flying. They said there was a day my mom was like, this bird has been following us. And I told Mommy, there is no bird after the prayer that we have prayed that can follow us. If that bird tries, the bird would die. I said, Mommy, you need to drop this fear. If the cockroach comes into the room, if that lizard is walking, that war gecko, that the power of God inside you, I say, he that is in you is greater than he that is in the world. Yeah. You need to be speaking that faith out and binding the fear, because we have inherited fears from the generations. People we don't know. The fear is in our DNA. The fear of animal is in our DNA. So we need a conscious effort to speak faith and speak life, so that we don't pass on that trauma to our children.
Let me put my husband on this table also, because some years ago also in our old house, birds would be passing. I'm trying to sleep. Brother is binding and casting. And I'm like, it's a freaking bird. It's an owl. It's trying to pass. He's pulling down. You're not letting us sleep. It's casting. And I'm like, bro, man, I'm trying to sleep. Bro, please. I'm trying to. The guy, he's always binding. And sometimes he'll go from the room to outside to everywhere and starts inside the whole house. I'm like, bro.
Now, do you know?
Okay. So I'm connecting to what you say. Is that fear?
Yes.
Is that the inherited fear? That we constantly feel as if once a natural occurrence that should happen, a bird should fly at night, certain birds fly, but you as a human being, you now begin to think that they're chasing you, and they're not chasing anybody.
Do you know that the sounds those birds make calm a troubled mind? We use it in therapy. We collect the sounds the birds are making, the sounds the sea is making. We collect it and it calms the mind. In meditation, it is used to calm. There's a way I'm feeling. I want to go to the park. I just want to hear the birds. My head calms down. We don't have this understanding. In fact, at some point, my house, there's always a part of the house where birds will come and poo. I always like that place because I see them as they are bringing fruitfulness to me. They're bringing blessings. They considered me okay for them to build a nest in my penthouse. And my penthouse balcony, they always build a nest there and they always poo there. We clean it with joy. I sit there, I meditate and I go. And there's nothing has happened.
But funny enough, if I'm on this bird pooing, some people believe mythologically that it is blessing.
Yeah.
Just the way my mom feels anytime she sees a spider. She says that is the reason we don't have money. Kill the spider. Look for the spider.
Thank you. My mother-in-law has an issue with wall geckos. The poor guys, they're always killing them. Like, when I was growing up, they don't kill wall geckos.
Once I see one, I know somebody's pregnant in the house.
Wall geckos eat the insects. I told my kids, I have to make them understand, because grandma keeps saying, kill it, like guys.
I don't.
They kill they eat of the insects. So they help you with the mosquitoes.
Even in the university, who don't get belly for here? That's the get belly for this.
They believe.
And it works. Somebody will have belly.
We have to wrap up. We've not finished this topic because there are many layers.
It's a journey that will take a long time. My mom today doesn't have those battle anymore, but I know I've been on that case as a teenager till now. So
we have to wrap up. We just wish them the best. Just hope the Nigerians can really understand that cats
love animals.
Useless. I saw those cats, and when I saw them black, I said, can you do this?
Even you knew that.
But they are beautiful.
They'll be beautiful. I would love to have a cat.
But like, hey, these Nigerian men, that's all we can take on this segment. When we come back, we'll bring in our guest. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Your View will be right back.